Yep. Well, I'd just like to say, today's a special day, not only because we beat UCLA and a good team, but we had 4 really special seniors that we wanted to send out on the right note and on a high note, and we did that. Our players played with great passion and pride and toughness and energy, and I know they did it for those 4 guys. So Torrey Miller, Josh Repine, Dominic Collier, and George King. Couldn't ask for more solid students, athletes, representatives of our program and university. They're all terrific kids. So it's a great day for the Buffs.
Two of those guys, only really 2 of them played.
Yeah.
But they've been struggling a little bit, and both of them, I think you mentioned out there, played like seniors.
They played like seniors, absolutely. Dom, you could tell just his body language, his demeanor, his eyes, he was ready to go from the get-go, and George was too. And they played like seniors. George's block there at the end on Wilkes' drive was a big-time defensive play. And so, yeah, I mean, those guys did what they had to do. And what was neat is the rest of the freshmen and the sophomore, Lucas, and, they played for them. I mean, they really, really wanted these guys. I've never seen a tackle a senior at the end. I mean, you can tell they genuinely. George said it. This is the closest team he's been on in the 5 years he's been there. So these guys, we've taken our lumps. We've been up, we've been down, we've played well, we've played poorly. But when your team is connected and believes in each other, it's pretty cool as a coach, because you can't make that happen. It has to happen amongst them. And if we can play connected and play for each other like we did today, good things can happen for us down the stretch.
Coach, with Dom, obviously a guy that's had his own personal ups and downs throughout his career, to watch him have a game like this at home, arguably his best home game in 4 years in his last game. For you to watch it, what would it be to you?
It's heartwarming. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it, is because again, I've said this in the past about Dom, as a coach, you want it so bad for him because he's such a good teammate. He's such a good player. He's given his heart and soul to this program. So when a guy does that, and you've seen him struggle, and then you see him break out like he did today, it's a heartwarming feeling.
You see a lot of guys whose careers don't go the way they were built when they was a big-time recruit, and they react differently.
They react differently. He's reacted like a true pro. I said this out there. These kids don't come to us as bad kids. They come to us as good kids because of the way they were raised. And Lori and Daryl Collier have done a great job with Dom. So, yeah, he's handled it well. He's to me, nominated him for 6th Man of the Year in our league. I think he's been coming off the bench. He's embraced that role. He's done that role for the most part very admirably this year. So he's had a good year. He's had some ups and downs like we all have, but special kid, and he's handled it well because he's got character, and he's a high character guy, and that starts with obviously his family.
Coach, maybe unlike the game the other night against USC, your team really kind of dictated things down the stretch of this game.
Absolutely.
How encouraging was that to see, obviously, at this stage of the season?
Very encouraging. Yeah, Coach English made the comment, coming out of the 8-minute media timeout, we sat down, the team took the floor, and, he says, this is where we were against USC at the 8-minute media timeout. Against USC, it was a tie game, 58-all. Tonight, we were up 1 coming out of the 8-minute media timeout. Anybody's game. But we made the plays both offensively and defensively down the stretch. And players make plays. And that's the bottom line. When in tight games and when it is anybody's game, players make plays. And our guys made the plays tonight. Against USC on Wednesday, USC made the plays. So it's again, it's a good feeling when your guys are doing what they're capable of doing.
How big was that bucket from Laz? It was only basket, but
it was big.
You guys haven't had a field goal, I think, in 7.
Yeah, I know. And and Laz I watch him in practice. I mean, he's got a nice stroke. I know the numbers don't say he's a good shooter, but I think Laz can shoot the ball. I really do. And he rose up with confidence. And the thing about Laz that makes him special is he is. I would have loved to play with Laz. you know, as a player. I mean, I played a long, long time ago, but he's a guy that you loved. Our guys like playing with him because he's all about the team. He's unselfish, and he's only going to shoot it if he has to. He's wide open. But that was a big shot. And that shot and Georgia's defensive block were the two, you know, kind of plays of the game, if you will. Because of the timing of them. Not, you know, I mean, we made some great plays. McKinley made some great plays, obviously, and Dom made some big threes, and George made some nice plays. But, you know, in terms of two game changers, those were the ones that stick out to me.
5 players in double-figure points today. We haven't seen that a ton. It's not the first time this year, but it's been kind of rare this year.
Yep.
This team obviously at its best when guys are hitting shots. McKinley's finding them, and we're seeing that kind
Without
of
a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt, Pat. There's no doubt. I noticed it at halftime. We had 10 assists at halftime on 14 baskets, and we only ended up with, I think, 14 or 15 assists. But, you know, we weren't making as many shots in the second half. But, man, we had some good looks that during a stretch. And I got to give kudos to our players because when we struggled offensively, there was one stretch where we didn't guard defensively, and they came back in the game and tied it up. We took the timeout. But really every other time we struggled offensively, we were getting stops. The zone was really good to us down the stretch and made them take some time and kept them out of the paint because, again, Welsh is a load down low. Holiday 101 was feeling it today. Wilkes is a good player. The zone kind of keeps him off balance a little bit.
Tad, I know you spoke on this before, but as more of the details of the FBI's probe come to light with some of the issues in college basketball recruiting, just what has been sort of your reaction over the past couple of days as we continue to learn more about kind of what's being alleged?
Disbelief. You know, I shouldn't say disbelief, but it's sad. You know, it's sad in a lot of respects. I feel bad for the people involved, even though it's, you know, you kind of bring things on yourself. But I think obviously our game needs fixing. The game, not itself, but the things around the game. And I've said this before. You know, that to me there's 2 buckets that we're dealing with here when it comes to this. You got players and their families allegedly taking money. 2 different ways. One is through the recruiting process to go to a certain school. The other is once they're on campus and agents are coming at them because they're highly sought after kids and basically big time assets that people want to get their hooks into. So they're 2 different issues, and I think you have to separate them. You can't rush to judgment. We all want to. You see a name, you see a university, but you know, some of them are ticky-tack things, and some of them are pretty big things. And I think, you know, each school has to deal with it themselves. I know the NCAA is trying to digest the whole thing as a whole, and it's difficult times. But sad was my reaction, and I'm concerned about cleaning up the recruiting part. That's, to me, as the head coach of Colorado, what bothers me the most. That's what I want to see fixed first. The other part we can fix if we choose to fix it, you know, with our amateurism definitions. But the recruiting part, now that's been going on for 50 years or however long, you know, sports have been in college, but it's sad.
Anything else for Coach?